Good morning. Are we live? Are we good? Let's figure this out. Having technical difficulties, as is most of the internet all of the time. Okay, perfect. I can see myself, I can hear myself. Hello, it's Melissa with Build a Better Bakery. You are right here in the Bakery Business School group for our live session today, where we go live on Thursdays, if I'm around, which is most Thursdays, for about 30 minutes just to talk about a baking business topic that I either am getting questions about, or it's something that's relevant to the time of year, or something that I feel like is going to lead into bigger and better things for you as we move through the seasons. So this month is a new month in May, and we have a brand new topic all about I guess I'm setting it up for beginners. Let's say that first, specifically because you don't have to be a beginner to use the information. But what I want to do is I want to simplify a lot of what I talk about, because it can be a lot. And I got a message the other day saying, hey, I'm just overwhelmed getting started with my business. I like the stuff that you're putting out, but it's a lot of information. So I wanted to create a month where I'm really just simplifying a lot of the big topics to help beginners or to help people who are feeling overwhelmed. So this month we're going to talk about expanding your business, but in very simple terms, without a lot of fluff. And if you need more information, you can reach out to me. If you are needing other things like courses, workshops, etc., I can just send you the links for that later. So we're just going to keep it real simple with the sessions to make sure everyone can follow along. This week, we're going to be talking about something special, which is going to be finding more local clients, gaining clients, but gaining them quickly. And I'll talk about exactly what that means in just a second. If we've never met before, I'm Melissa. I'm the CEO, the main mentor at Build a Better Bakery. And I help bakers take control of their baking business while holding on to the joy of it, which can get lost in the process and will not be good for anybody. So I want to help you still feel joyful and good about what you're doing, but also creating a sustainable income, whatever that means for you, to make sure that you're getting paid for your time as an artist and as a baker, and that you're feeling really good about how your business is going. As a professional baker myself for close to 20 years with experience in both commercial and home bakery with lots of in-betweens, I'm here for you. That's why this group is here. That's why we do mentorship. That's why we do courses. That's why we do private calls, things like that. I just want to make sure you feel like you're talking to someone who knows what you're talking about and you get the resources that you need right away. So go ahead and throw up your hashtag replay. If you're viewing this on the replay, or if you're viewing this on YouTube or anywhere else, go ahead and throw up your replay. Here at Build a Better Bakery, as I mentioned, we do these topics in this group, and this month is expanding your business for beginners. So yes, we're keeping it simple, we're simplifying it, clean and short and crisp for you. And today's topic is all about getting those local clients. And I'm going to break it down into a single strategy with one word so that it makes sense on a broader term, and then 3 little tips to help you out where you might want to get started. If you're here live, go ahead and throw up your hashtag live, throw up your hello, like Melanie. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. The internet wasn't nice to me this morning. That's how my day's going. And I have a leak on my sink, and that's not good either. So not a great day, but I'm here with you, and I'm happy about that. If you need to stay in the know about these lives, you can check the events in the group. I'm going to be posting the rest of May soon. You can send Melissa Fryer, that's me, a friend request on the Facebook platform specifically. That way you can get invited to these events as they are created in the group. You can hang out in our email list where you're going to get direct replay links every month or so, maybe every couple weeks. So they're going to be a little dated, but you're going to still get the information later. So that's a good place to be too. You can also subscribe on YouTube for all those replays on demand, which is a great little library situation. I do go live every Thursday at 9 a.m. Mountain Time right here in the Bakery Business School group to make sure you're getting new, fresh content that supports what you're doing. And that's if I'm here and around and available. So it's almost every Thursday. But as you noticed last month, I was gone for a couple weeks because I was on a trip. So I'm here if I can be here, essentially. So let's hop right in with our topic for today. By simplifying the main strategy to finding more local clients. That can feel like a really overwhelming topic. That can feel like I don't know where to start. So again, my intention for this month is just to bare bones it down for you. That strategy is simply exposure. In any way that you can make this work for you, exposure is how you're going to gain more local clients. No matter how you cut it, shake it, or lay it out, that's really the basis of what you're doing. It's going to get more eyeballs on you and eventually more sales if you are holding up your end of the deal, which is basically good products, good customer service, etc. So if you aren't really set up very well in your baking, like you don't have a ton, you haven't taste tested your recipes, or you haven't really come up with like a business name, or you haven't really branded anything. If you're at the very, very beginning stages, know that you'll need some of that in your pocket first so that people feel comfortable buying from you, okay? So getting this exposure is not step one to a business, but it is step one to getting those clients. So just make sure you have your business put together, the basics put together for that, to make sure that when they buy from you, they're going to be happy. That's what we want. And they're going to remember who you are and they're going to know what they're buying, right? Okay. Okay, but also we want to use this time to talk about getting those clients quickly through exposure. So I'm not going to be discussing commonly suggested topics like organic social media posting. That's like a long game. You're fighting the algorithm the whole time. I'm not saying don't do that, but it's not going to get you quick results. So I'm not going to be focusing on that today. Let's hop in with number one. The fastest and most effective way to gain a following for your business, even if you don't have any followers right now or you don't have any clients right now, is to attend a market of some sort. Is it a lot of time? It could be. Is it money? Yes. So there's intent behind it, and there's going to be work that you're going to have to do. But what's great about a market is it's basically set up to give you exposure. That's what it is. In this way, you're not only connecting with those real live people who are buying from you in front of your face, talking to you directly, helping you learn about customer insight, market research, etc. But you're also going to make connections with other local vendors. And that's going to be really important in the long run, which you'll soon find out. And also making connections with the people who actually run the market. They're kind of the in the know people in the community because they do run this big market. So they're great people to know too. All of this exposure and connection is amazing for juicing up a business that wants more clients quickly. It's just everything that the recipe needs, especially since just being at the market itself can move the sales process from normally what it takes like seven positive exposures online for a brand for you to decide to purchase from them. That can take it from 7 exposures down to 1 or 2. And when that happens, that's just saving you a lot of effort. So effort in, product or, results out, right? There is some effort in a market. Top tips here are to focus on however many markets you have time for. I'm not going to tell you a certain number is right, but you want to make sure you have enough time to really prepare for each market. And if you can only do one, that's okay. We just want to make sure it's a big hitter. So we want to look at being consistent. So when you're showing up at the market, you have consistent sales products, you have consistent messaging, packaging, branding, etc. Because when people are at a market, it's very visual. So there's a lot going on and there's a lot of noise. So your area needs to look basically very similar every time. It could get better every time, but kind of similar so that they know, hey, that blue tent is Melissa's tent. Or hey, that tent with the flowers out front is Melissa's tent. So just something to keep them visually understanding that it's you. And then also, as I mentioned, choose a market that's a big hitter. So something that has proven track records and dependable staff. Those are really good ways to see that a market is going to be sustainable, that you're not going to be wasting your money, and there's going to be people walking around and actually attending the market. Okay. If you have questions about any of this, please let me know. Again, I'm trying to keep it short for beginners, just not to go too far in. The second one we want to talk about is paying for exposure. Not a dirty word, okay? People pay for exposure all the time. The one I want to talk about today is paid ads on social media, because what that's going to do is it's going to remove all of that time you're spending on that organic reach that's not really working super well anymore, and you're basically just trading time for money. So it can be a scary step for those of us who have maybe only posted online organically here and there, but rest assured, what's good to know is that paid advertising is exactly what social media is actually made for. That's what they prioritize, and that's what they are made for. They want people on organically to be viewers of paid things. So know that when you start using paid ads, it'll be set up with a process that you can figure out for the most part. There is going to be some sense of relief knowing that, and same for me, I feel like I can just share whenever I want now. I'm not stuck. I used to set an alarm and it would tell me when to post certain things, XYZ. That's like a whole thing, and it's a lot of time, and it can be some pressure. So there's other things we'll talk about later on in the week or later on this month, other tools and services that can help you expand, which I don't want to jump into right now. But just knowing this is one of those that you can start paying a few bucks a month to get that online exposure paid for you, served up to your local target market clients for you. And it's helping you access people that you likely would never have access to before. So to me, it's kind of a win-win. And if you're a beginner, it's great because you don't have to have a following. You don't have to have an email list. You don't have to have a Facebook group. You can just pay for the exposure within that social media realm where you're trying to do all this stuff for free. You can just pay a little bit and actually get a front row seat. Now, the top tips here would be to look into the process of ad creation first. You're going to need to know what you're doing if this is going to be a new thing that you're going to try for your business. There's tons of YouTube videos. There's probably courses you can pay for, all that kind of stuff. Just know what it is, understand what you're actually doing, or just have a professional make an ad for you, which if they make a good ad that's evergreen, meaning it can be run anytime, they can make it for you and you can control it and continue to run it as long as you like. So it might be a good idea to have someone who knows what they're doing make the ad, and then you just pay for it and maintain it. That's going to make sure that you have good information that's needed in the copyright. You've got a hook to bring people in, that kind of stuff. You have good photos, and that really, more so, your ad is being shown to the right audience. That's very important. So if you don't know anything about ads, know that you're going to take a day or two to really look into that. Then what you can do to try to track, first of all, you'll get analytics, obviously, of specifically on Facebook, of who's clicking on your ads, how often, what are they doing on the ad, that kind of stuff. So you're going to get information about how well it's performing. But you can also start asking people where they've heard of you and see if if your ad is making any real world impact for the people who are actually buying. Or a really easy way to do this is link in your online shop at checkout, ask them where they heard of you. You'll see this pretty often with businesses. And you can list off something like Facebook ad or Instagram ad. And if they click those, you'll know that people are actually seeing them. So that's a way to kind of keep a vibe on where people are seeing you most and what is working best for your current audience. Melanie says, is there a good number of days to start with for the ad? I believe I think the last article I read said you should likely be running an ad 7 days before. Like that's like the bare minimum to run an ad 7 days before the date. So like if you were going to run an ad for Mother's Day, 7 days or further ahead to get people to see it. And really like my go-to is about 2 weeks just as far as making your advertising and sharing it organically. So again, maybe 2 weeks is good. It's really honestly pretty low cost for the amount of exposure. I think what's happening is you're going to then be combating just the fact that social media is really noisy and loud. So, the longer the better, the more money you're putting in, the better, essentially. But if it's under 7 days up until a date, like if you're trying to sell something for Mother's Day and you're trying to put an ad up like 3 days before Mother's Day, it's probably not going to give you the return that you think it might. So I guess 7 to 14 days is what I would say is like the minimum. And then for me, what I do is sometimes I'll run a short-term ad for a certain number of days, and if it's on Facebook, which also shares to Instagram. If it's inside of there, you can choose the day that it turns it off, and then you'll only get charged so many dollars. The one that I have going right now is actually continuous. So it is just on all the time. And what I do is I go in and I update that specific ad with different copyright or updated copyright, or I put in new images. Am I an ad professional? No. That's just what I'm doing right now. I feel like it's the most sustainable for me at the moment. At some point, I'll likely get a professional in just to make sure, maybe later, just to kind of see how it's going. I think it's doing okay right now. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, and then let's head into number 3. The third thing to gaining local clients quickly is to collaborate. So again, we're talking about exposure, but what we're doing here is we're actually using someone else's exposure. You're kind of borrowing it for a little bit. And this one, you may have tons of options in your area to collaborate, and some of you might not have a ton. So it might be something you have to look into. And what we're doing is we're just looking for someone who people look to for information, or it's their business to share to their followers about what's going on locally, or they just have a lot of followers and maybe they're kind of interested in what you do, or you guys are kind of related in some way. Those are the collaborations that are going to be the easiest and quickest for you. So again, it could be an influencer, it could be a local reporter, it could be a local social media voice, etc. Just get your information to these people, make sure they have it on hand, or these groups that are maybe doing things that are getting a lot of information to the community. Because what's fun is that these people are actually looking to talk about and share about local people. So you're kind of doing them a favor by giving them your information. And some of these people, their entire careers are spent finding people just like you to promote. So it's, throwing your hat in the ring is part of the game, and they're actually wanting that. So know that these people aren't necessarily going to be like, ew, don't talk to me. They might if they're weird, but normally they're going to be a little interested in what's going on. If you're feeling nervous, know these two things. One, people love bakers. They love hearing about bakery stories. There's little movies made about it and stuff. Like, it's a cute romantic idea. We know the reality of some of it, but people do like to hear from bakers and they think it's a fun topic. So that's just a fact. That's my fact, okay? Two, the worst I can say is no or not respond, but try not to take this personally because these people are professionals. They're doing other things, or they might not even be professionals. They might just be someone in the community that ended up with a lot of followers. You never know what they have going on. You never really know what their true mission is with what they're doing, and you might not know what's really interesting them at the time, because if they have a certain theme that they want to do for this month and it's not about bakeries, it's about like outdoor water parks or something like that, they might not respond to you because it's not what they need at the time. But go ahead and throw your information out there so you can start that connection. They might reach out at another time. And again, don't take it personally if they don't respond or say no. It's not a huge deal. At least they know who you are then, right? We just want to make sure they have our information and get out as many as you can. We want multiple collaborations going on. You'll likely also start connecting with these influencers themselves. So what that might mean is you might get pulled into more of their work. You might get mentioned to other people who are important in the community because they're often with them, that kind of thing. So you're really just getting connected. And it's going to get you even closer to more local clients because they're usually connected to people with other large followings. And we know that people with followers, people with email lists, people with big businesses, they just are connected to more people, and we're trying to get exposure. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so it's quick and fast today. Hopefully that was a good amount of information to get your kind of brain going on what you can start with. To recap, the basic strategy to gain local clients quickly is exposure. It's just exposure. So try to, distill it down to that. I have found markets, paid ads, and collaborations to be the fastest ways to get into the view of clients. So are they the cheapest? No. Are they the easiest? Probably not, but they are the fastest and most effective. And you will then seal the deal with your great customer service, your delicious bakes, and a strong look and message to your brand. So those things are going to need to be in place. Don't expect to just be starting on day one with no recipes and no brand and no business name and start getting all this following you. Likely won't. We need to get some of the basics set up first, okay? I know there are going to be probably a ton of DMs about this because I mentioned some big topics and kept it pretty simple. And I'm intentionally leaving it simple to make sure beginners can feel comfortable with these topics and kind of pick and choose what they want to focus on rather than getting lost in the weeds. I will remind y'all that we do have workshops that do dive deeper into topics just like these. There are a broad range of topics, and I try to make it that way so that people at different levels can access the workshop information. We already have one that's now in replay format up in the shop that covers how to master markets from top to bottom. I'm talking all the information that you're going to need to get started, checklists, do's and don'ts, just a lot of important information that's going to save you a lot of time and money if you want to start with markets, which I think would be a good idea for beginners or even people who are just looking to get more exposure. If you would like the link to look at it and other workshops, you can let me know through DM. You can comment here, workshops. I can send you the link directly. It is www.buildabakerynow.com/workshops. You'll see everything that's coming up. You'll see the replay bundles. And then as the months progress, I add new live workshops and I turn the old ones into replays. I will remind everybody that replays do not include some of the bonuses that come with the live workshop. So just keep that in mind. If you want the maximum bonus, you're going to sign up for the live. Even if you view it on replay, you'll sign up on the live so you can get all the bonuses. I do include as much as I can. That's like, documents I can send. But some of the stuff that comes with the live can only be done there. You know what I'm saying? So just know that you can always get the main information on replay, but it might not be everything that was included with the first sale. Okay. And our live workshop this month is all about mastering the wedding industry, which is another great way to expand a baking business. It is, there are some information we need to go a little more in depth than just a simple explanation on, because what I want for you to do is head into the wedding industry as a boss. You're going in, you're gaining clients, you're booking years out or even a year out if that's more comfortable for you. People are going to know who you are. Brides and grooms are talking about you at the dinner table, that kind of thing. I want that to be your reality. There's just some things we need to get set up first before you can get there. So that's what the workshop's for. You will also get access to all upcoming monthly workshops for free. So you don't even have to pay for the workshops if you're an elite mentorship member as well. And that's like weekly group coaching, a huge vault library of information for you to access at any time, 24/7. We have 3 coaches on our team. You can email us at any time. We have a private, tight-knit Facebook group, so you can ask your questions in a very small group. That's not as embarrassing to ask. Very direct and comforting and group-oriented for you. It's just really good for someone looking for direct support that you can count on, that's actually planned out, that's all about you. Close-knit community and a genuine mentorship service from people, from a baker just like you, and then also a couple other women who are professionals at what they do, and they share their expertise with you as well. Okay, so hoping that's all helpful for you and that your day's going better than mine. That is all for today's topic of 3 ways to gain more local clients for beginners. We're keeping it simple this month. We'll be back every Thursday this week with more information for beginners on how to expand your business in simple terms. Okay, I'm not seeing any other comments today, so throw them in there later if you have any. And I will see you all next week, and I hope you have the best day. Bye.